Hello students, welcome to the class. Today I am going to start a new topic, tenses. This is very important topic for each and every students for English grammar. First of all, tell me, did you think that what is tense? Have you ever think what is tense? Always we say let learn the tense. Okay, read the tense. But do you think about what is tense? Okay students, I am telling to you, tense denotes two things. It tells about two things. The first one is time and the second one is status of work or an action. Tense denotes two things. One is time and second is status of work or an action. In short, we can say the tense is correlation between time and action. It tells about the correlation between time and action, or we can say the status of work, status of action. When we think about the time, then we can divide it into three major domains. We can divide it into three parts. First is present. Present, which is present, and the exist in which we are living, that is present, in which we are existing, that is present. And second one is past, that we have left behind, that is past. Then future, that will come ahead, that is future. Future that will come ahead, that is future. Okay, when we think about the status of work or an action, what is the status of work, then we can divide it into four parts. The first one is indefinite. Indefinite tense tells about the indefinite status of work. In present, past or future, the indefinite status of work, the work is done. So this is indefinite. Then continuous. Continuous tense tells about the working status or continuous status of the work. The work is still continuous in the present, past or future. The continuous tense tells about the continuous status of work, means the work is still going on at present, past or future. Then perfect. Perfect means the work is started in past but just it is completed. Just it is completed. So the perfect tense tells about the completion of work in the present, past or future. The last one is perfect continuous tense. It tells about the status of work is started in the past but still the work is continue. The still work is not completed, it is continue in present, past or future. So we can see the tenses are combination or correlation between time and action. And according to this correlation between time and action, we can divide the tenses into 12 types. Let's see the first tense, present tense. Present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. We can divide the present tense into four parts, and just like present, Past is also divided into 4 parts: past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. And just like present and past, future is also divided into 4 parts: future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Let's start. Explain one by one. Okay, we will read one by one. First of all, we will do present tense, and in present we will do present indefinite tense, or we can say simple present tense. Use of present indefinite tense. When we will use present indefinite tense or simple present tense, when we will use: to show habits or generalization, to show repetition, to talk about schedule, action in near future, to show universal truth and scientific rules, to show non-continuous verb. For examples, he needs your help now. At present, he needs your help. So these are some situations where we can use present indefinite tense or simple present tense. Simple present tense is used for existing things or existing activities. Let's see the structure of present indefinite or the simple present tense. This is the structure of sentence. Affirmative or assertive, you can say positive sentences, simple sentence of present indefinite. The structure is subject plus first form of verb plus s or es plus object. This is the structure of assertive, or you can say affirmative sentence of present indefinite. Let's see the example. Suhana goes to school. They play football. We watch TV. He eats an apple. Ram writes a letter. All these are the examples of present indefinite and affirmative sentences. Let's see the use of s and es with first form of verb. When or where we will use s or es with the first form of verb. When the subject is singular number third person, then we add s or es with verb. In present indefinite, when the subject is singular number third person means he, she, it, and name of any person. There is also third person, but that is plural. So he, she, it, and name of any person. If the subject of singular number third person, then we will add s or es to the first form of verb. Otherwise, only first form or base form of the verb is used in simple present tense. If the subject is not singular number third person, then we will use only first form, or you can say the base form of the verb in the simple present tense. Rule of adding s or es to the verb. Where we will add s or where we will add es to the verb when the subject is singular number third person. When the verb ends with letters s, double s, sh, ch, x or o, then es is added to the first form of verb. Otherwise, s is added to the verb when the subject is singular number third person. This is the first condition, that the subject should be singular number third person. Then we will add s or es to the first form of the verb. But after that, where s or where es is added. So about this we can say, where the verb, when the verb is ends with letter s, double s, ch, sh, x or o, then we will add es to the first form of verb. Otherwise, only s is added to the first form of verb. But one thing is, remember, only s and es is added to the verb when the subject is singular number third person in present indefinite tense. Okay, let's see the structure of sentences in simple present tense. Previously, in previous slide, we have seen the structure of affirmative or positive sentence. Let's see the structure of all kind of sentences such as assertive, negative, interrogative or interrogative. The structure of affirmative sentence is subject plus first form of verb plus s or es plus object. In negative sentences, we will use helping verb do or does after the subject. So the structure of negative sentences is subject plus do or does plus not plus first form of verb plus object. Here we will not add s or es because already we have added it to the helping verb. Next is interrogative sentences. In interrogative sentences, we will use helping verb do or does before the subject. So the structure of interrogative sentences is do or does plus subject plus first form of verb plus object then question mark. Let's see the structure of interrogative sentences. In this sentence, we will use helping verb do does before the subject and after the subject we will use not. And keep in mind always not is in the third number at the third number in the sentence. Always it is at the third number. So here also let's see the structure. Do or does plus subject plus not plus first form of verb and plus object then question mark. Let's see the examples. Birds fly in the sky. This is affirmative sentence or you can say positive sentence, assertive sentence. Let's make the negative sentence. Birds do not fly in the sky. In the negative sentence, we will use helping verb do plus not. Then interrogative sentence. Do birds fly in the sky? Then interrogative. Do birds not fly in the sky? These are the examples of affirmative, negative, interrogative and interrogative sentences of present indefinite. Let's see one more examples. She writes a letter. Okay students, you have seen the video. Now can you change it into negative sentence? Change. Okay, let's check your answer. She does not write a letter. Now change it into interrogative. Does she write a letter? And in interrogative, does she not write a letter? Okay students, here are some points to be remembered in present indefinite tense or simple present tense. These are some points to be remembered for present indefinite tense. Do and does are the helping verb of present indefinite tense. Okay, what are the helping verb of present indefinite tense? Do or does. In negative sentences, interrogative sentences and in interrogative sentences, helping verb is used. Where we will use helping verb? In negative sentences, interrogative and in interrogative. In positive or affirmative sentences, helping verb is not used. If the subject is singular number third person, then helping verb does is used, otherwise do is used. Okay students, these are some points to be remembered for present indefinite tense. Now check yourself. I am giving you some sentences. you have to change them into negative, interrogative and interrogative sentences. Sohan eats an apple. We sing a song. You go to market. Now you have to change all three sentences into negative, interrogative and interrogative sentences. Give your answer in comment box. I hope you understand the present indefinite tense. Our next video about the present continuous tense. Okay, now like, share, subscribe and keep watching for new updates. Thank you.